Ma'am,
Yes.
Madama, good evening.
Evening.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of America and beyond. So today we got a mixed bag of tricks. Dow Jones, not too bad, just 0.25% down. S&P and NASDAQ were relatively up, but not overall above a dollar. Not, it's just below. 0.29 and 0.43%. Russell K was down a lot. Well, not too much, just $7. And the volatility was on the high scale on the negative side. For mañana, things are looking up, and it's probably because of Netflix. They reported, and they add 13.1 million subscribers. It tops revenue estimates as membership push
It got
gains.
$7, 7 points.
Yeah, 7 points. 7 points. For tomorrow, like I said, things are looking on the bright side of things. And that's that. Okay, so let's get it started. So let's look at the winners. The winner for today after the market, because the reported was Netflix. As you can see, it went up 10%. So if you got it at the end of the day, right off the market, you will have done well. But before the market, it was just flat. Really, it was just flat. So most of this 10% gain was in the post market. Lucid, you may want to put this on the notes.
I look on a daily for Netflix.
Oh,
Overall, I know overall it's been doing good, but will be
yeah.
interesting. Maybe you should have a daily thing up there too.
Yes, ma'am. Good point. Yes, for the last couple of days, it was flat and then it boomed up on the daily scale. It hit the mark past the all-time highs, I believe. So let's go back in time. We had this for a reason. Oh, actually, not all-time highs, but an area of clear support here that we had identified. It got to 700 because this was during COVID times, the extra excess and the darling of the COVID times. Everybody was jumping on Netflix. So yes, it's not at the all-time highs, but it clearly hit today this area of support that we had identified. I could see it getting, maybe gaining some more, maybe tomorrow, but maybe just staying in this area for a bit. Because based on this, that's where it likes to hover. And if we look at on a weekly, it's even more evident, at least to me, because I like it on the weekly. It's more clear. You can see that this area is what we had touched upon. Clear area of support. So yeah, it got there. Good earnings. It's already here, 534. It may go back down to 500 or just stay around this area. So 534.80. Okay, Lucid on Gutterville, and it's continued to be on Gutterville, but it did great today, and that's in quotes, great, 7.7% up. It has been trending up the last couple of dias, up, up, up. The EVs haven't been doing very well overall, so anytime there's like a little pop on this, you should consider shorting it because that's what most people are been doing this. So but I think it's going to continue to go up because the EVs have been hit really hard, especially Tesla, Lucid, Rivian, and all this nonsense. Americana at $14 is a good level that we had identified. I like it lower than 14, but is this still a good level? It's a clear area of support here that we had labeled. It could go down. If it goes down to 12 or 11 or so, I will consider it. It's below the 200, is below the 50. So hopefully it does do a dip. and I will consider buying it. So let me put a little notification here, and let's say if it gets below 1250 to let me know. And that's that. Let's see, ASML. So this was an important one because it has earnings tomorrow. I'm not sure if it's in the pre-market or the post-market, but this is a chip sort of sector ticker. It's been strong because of that. Overall today, the candle itself, let me go back to the daily. The candle itself today was actually strong. It's hovering around 789. I'm not sure if it's, let me check if it's the all-time highs. Okay, not at the all-time highs yet. This is an area of support, I would say, this $800 mark, and then a clear area here would be almost 900. So let's see if it surpasses this level here at 800. It clearly surpassed this one now, almost. So yeah, we'll see what happens in earnings tomorrow. And this will give us a good sentiment with the other chips coming up. Sam, congratulations for going up. I think this has been having a couple of good days lately, couple of maybe a week or so. It was down here. It filled the gap, and it's a clear area of, you know, filling here, filler. So maybe, who knows, it may get up to 400 if it keeps that way. Time will tell. Intel, the darling of someone, Intel's darling. Clearly it had an inside day, it went down, then went back up, but it was still below, kind of slightly below yesterday, at an upward trend. From here, it's been up. It should reach 50. If for some reason it does a dip, let's say 45 or below, you should jump on it. Just get a few shares and see if it goes and surpasses the 50 after that dip. That's my recommendation. But the chips could go down too, like after all this hype and then NVIDIA reports or whatever, they could go down. So just be careful on this, but just get a few shares as a test if you're thinking about getting this. Meta. Meta didn't have a great day, even though it's green. I believe this was post-market, but I'm not, yeah, this was mostly at the post-market level. And I think it's because Netflix brought them up, because it went up at the beginning, down, and then it went down for most of the day. It did go up, but it was more level set here, slightly below VWAP to this 385, and you can clearly see it went up $2 or so, almost $3 after the post market. Nikete is going in the right direction today, up. From here, it had almost 1.50% up, and that's what we wanted. Let's see, in the last 5 days, it was kind of flat, went down and went up. Then it was stabilized yesterday, but now I think it's going to start going up. So hopefully this is the turnaround that we need for Nikete. Somebody like is in the stock. But if you look at this level, still not looking that good, below the 50, below the 200, but you know, we'll see. Time will tell. At least right now it's not looking good, but this day was a good one for today. We'll skip Walgreens, but let's slightly take a look at it visually. Yeah, it's been going down. It did a little bump up, but overall the trend is down. Amazon, I think it was the same thing as whatchamacallit. Nike, as Meta, where it wasn't that strong overall, and then it picked back up. Actually, and at the 12:30 mark, it really did pick up. But you can see, again, because of Netflix momentum, it picked up in the post market. So things may go up tomorrow. And I wouldn't be surprised, it is a miércoles. XOM had a good, decent day. Based on this, it went above 1.32, above 1. Did great at the beginning, kind of stayed flattish, then it was a little bit below VWAP flattish, but overall, from yesterday, it did pick up. DraftKings 38.40. Actually, let me go back to XOM. I didn't look at a daily. So yeah, I still think the trend is going down based from here to here. It did had a good day. This could be just, a pick-me-up day. But overall, we still like it at 90, below 90, 80 would be the best area. And this is a short. We had this on the notes for shorting, but kind of glad we didn't jump on it or anybody because clearly it would have gone against us. AMD. Again, the tech stock didn't do well overall today. Well, it did well. It was up 1.20%. Was bumpy at the beginning, but high, stayed kind of flattish, and then it picked up in the post market. Let's see. Riviana or Rivian. Shorting the pops is what this is all about. You can see here, this has been beaten down. It could go up if Tesla goes up, this will go up. But the area that I like to buy it at is here around 14, because this is the base that we're thinking, 13, 14 area. I would say, yeah, 1350. But yeah, the trend is still going down. The last couple of days, it has done a little pick me up, but still shorted. Still, the trend is going down. NVDA, the darling of the AI, as predicted yesterday, we said it would hit that 600 mark with no problema. The high of the day was 599.10, but it did hit it yesterday. It was above 600. Today went to 599, and it went to 585. So, and I think it did the same thing where it picked up for the most part in the post market. You can see it would have been a great short at the beginning of the day, hit the bottom. If you got it here and rode it till now, man, that's a good one. Freshly Pet, no comment. The banks didn't do well overall today, I heard, in the sector watch. But it looked like Bank of America did kind of good after this down trend. If you picked it up here and kind of wrote it afterward, you would have done fine. Let's look at it on the daily. Yeah, it doesn't seem bad to me, even though they were saying some of the banks were bad. But it is Bank of America, a very strong stock. So I don't see why this would not go back up to here. You can buy a few shares, maybe write it up to here and see what happens with the momentum. McDonald's, there you go, baby, 300. As I said, it got to $300.21. I got there yesterday, surpassed it. I think it's gonna hover here for a minute. I like the stock, but I'm a wimp and I never get it. So hopefully when it does do a dip one day, I will get into this. Apple. Apple it looked like it went down at the beginning, stayed flat, picked up a little bit. Then it stayed. This one was interesting because the others went up. This one kind of stayed flat in the post market. As you can see, based on this 0.65%, didn't do that much, just to about $2 it moved. Tesla, this has tomorrow is its earnings on Alan's birthday, January 24th. The last couple of days, it's kind of a mirror these 2 days actually, but sort of flattish, I would say then. Um, the trend on a daily has been down. They say that this is a good area to buy the dip at 200. So if it goes down to 200 and you're interested in this name, it might be a good area. But I like it here where we had identified, or even this 190 area myself. But this is a wild stock. Be careful tomorrow if you jump on this. We'll see how earnings has gone. The last couple of the last earning wasn't that great. And they've been having car issues, and wintertime has solidified our thesis that, EVs are not the way to go, especially if you live above, uh, North Carolina or so, if you live in the northern part of the United States or anywhere where it's cold in the world. So yeah, just be careful tomorrow. I think it's in the post market where they're gonna be doing the report. So it's gonna be very volatile. Target or Target. Let's look at the last few days. It's been going up. That's the trend, my friends, on this. Has been picking up. I think it's gonna get here to this 160. So you can get a few shares and test that theory, see if it gets to 160 to this area of support, and make a little bit of dinero. Dollar Tree, we haven't looked at this in a minute. We're anticipating the report in 36 days where we think this is gonna drop down as per historical observation on earnings. Even if it does well, it just does like a big drop every single time for some reason. And the mountains have been getting smaller and smaller for every earning. So I would anticipate that it would go down, because look at this. This mountain, this mountain, this mountain, this mountain. The mountains have been going down. And they didn't do great before. So if it pops up, try to get that pop and then write it down. But that's just our theory. It's not investment advice, Be careful out there, my friends. The market is a dangerous place if you don't know what you're doing. Walmart, it has earnings in 28 days. I think it might get back to that all-time highs and do the same thing where it gets up here, maybe surpasses it a little bit, and then does a crazy thing where it stalls for a little while and then it drops down. A Visa. So I got a few shares of this because it's at the all-time highs. We had put this on the notes for you guys. I'm doing a little test run to see if our theory is correct, where it's going to go down. It's been very weak lately. So we said, hey, it's at the all-time highs. Let's see if it continues, maybe surpasses a little bit, but eventually people are going to get some profits. So the last 2 days have been flat. Well, hopefully it turns around. Even if it does a big gap up, it's a good opportunity to get the pop and then maybe write it down once it settles down. Azo. It's expensive. Muy expensive. That's all we gotta say. Don't get into the stock unless you know what you're doing, because this stock doesn't stop. Based on this history right here, just take a look at it. It doesn't stop. So I don't know what to tell you. There's no really support unless it gets down here, and it would take a miracle for it to get down here. So if it does a little dip and you want to experiment, then go long. Never go short on this, based on this historical analysis of how it moves. BJ's, we haven't gone this in a minute, but let's take a look at it. Looks like the trend is down. Maybe if it goes down to 60, let me put a little notification here. let's put like 60-25 or something like that so we can get a little, um, or even 62 actually, or so. That's when we kind of want to get it. It should be starting to going down because people are not going to be buying a lot of Thanksgiving stuff and going crazy with BJ's. Uber, this has earnings in 15 days, something to take a note of. I believe it's at the all-time highs. So yes, it surpassed it, rejected the all-time highs, actually still rejected a little bit, but the trend is so obscene high. It could go up a little bit. The earnings the last couple of times have been very good. It hasn't been losing money. It didn't lose money. So if it does better than this, I can see it go up a little bit and then slam down because people are gonna start getting money um, out of this. So be careful. But something to note, earnings in 15 days, all-time highs, a potential pop and then drop. Piton, 584, it did a pop. I gonna put another order to see if I can get it above $6. Wayfee went down, it's a hard buy. Thank you. Cara, we haven't looked at this in a second. I have a few shares. It filled up the gap here. I like the 180 area, so I'm still observing it. See, of course, if it gets 200, that's the place to buy it. The trend is down, up. It could continue to go up and hover here. I'll let you know if it gets to 180 or above. But yeah, this thing, based on the video that we had watched from someone, it should be slamming and killing people at some point or another. So there's a bottom here at 123, 125 or so. Once it surpasses that, I think it's just gonna be downhill from there. It could stall for a while before it gets down there because that's what it likes to do. Coiny coin. Folks are shorting this. It was on the notes yesterday. I don't see why it would not get to $100 or $100. So yeah, that's a potential short. It's obvious now that it's gonna get to 100. Dickies. Okay. So Dicky, good. Interesante. So now, as we had identified in the last time, boom, 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 surpassed it, rejected, but it's still it's right here. We have to make sure it breaks this out because that's when then you want to short this. Okay. As I had predicted, it probably, well, look, it did a slam down today, but today was Tuesday. Let's look at the last 15 days. We want to see if it gets back up to this area and potentially 154 to really short it or more. So yeah, the mountain has been reached a couple of times, and I said it would break out. If it does another pop up here, it will break out and maybe could get to 155 or so. So yes, let's take watch that. So put that on the notes. Dickie's watch. Home Depot. Okay, so Home Depot rejected this 360 area. It's starting to go head down, maybe back to 340. It is going to be winter time, so I would anticipate that this could start going down again for the winter. But I could be wrong. This thing has been very, very strange. So we want to see if it gets back down here to 326 or so and beyond below to buy it. EBC, we're observing it on a daily to see if it gets to the 16 area, and it clearly didn't have the greatest of day, but the candle's still moving upward trend. So yeah, if you got it down here and you ride it to 16, That's a little bit of dinero you can put in your pocket. So yeah, still above, it started above here. It closed below it, or at the same space almost it did yesterday, but things are looking up for EBC at least the last couple of dias. Boeing, this thing has been slammed. It's picking up a little bit, but the airlines overall are in this have not been doing good. So if you can get it, if it gets back down to 200, that's the area where you could get a chance. So I would see if it gets back to 200. It moves about $8 a day. So if it moves back down tomorrow, you could potentially get it at 200. Okay. Open, went down and it picked up. It had a little gap up. Still slightly it's above and below the 50 period. So hopefully it stays below. And you could write it back to $3. And yeah, let's see what happens with open. Fundamentally, it's still losing dinero, so uh, not a good thing to be in a company. So hopefully it does continue to go down. My meaty, I haven't traded this in a while. It used to be my favorite stock. It's gonna get to $6. If it gets to $6, I do want to jump on it because it's gonna break down to the ground. I may want to get a few shares even now to test it, but I'm in a lot of shorts. I have a lot of shorts on. And Vana went down 5.38%, and I'm in this as well. So that's all I have. And then for my lesson of the dia, I had talked yesterday and a couple of days before about the 12 basic principles. I think we stopped at units of measurement, Miss Green. Is that correct?
You're asking the wrong person, but I'll say yes.
Okay, yeah. So I think actually we did. We're in number 6. We are, let me see, units of measure. Yes, we're in historical cost. So number 5 is historical cost of the basic principles. Number 5. What a company owes and what it owns are recorded at their original historical cost with no adjustment for inflation. A company can own a building valued at 15 million, yet carry it on the books at its 5 million original purchase price, less accumulated depreciation. Oh, actually, we did read this yesterday. Okay, yes, we are at materiality. Sorry, guys. We're number 6, materiality. Materiality refers to the relative importance of different financial information. Accountants don't sweat the small stuff, but all transactions must be reported if they would materially affect the financial condition of the company. Remember, what is material for a corner drugstore is not material for IBM. Materiality is a straightforward judgment call. Okay, then the next one that we have is estimates and judgments. Complexity and uncertainty make any measurement less than exact. Estimates and judgments must often be made for financial reporting. It is okay to guess if 1, that is the best you can do, and 2, the expected error would not matter much anyway. But accountants should use the same guessing method for each period. Be consistent in your guesses and do the best you can. And last but not least for the night is consistency. We have 4 more to go. Consistency. Sometimes identical transactions can be accounted for differently. You could do it this way or that way, depending upon some preference. The principle of consistency states that each individual enterprise must choose a single method of reporting and use it consistently over time. You cannot switch back and forth. Measurement techniques must be consistent from any one fiscal period to another. That's it, my friends, for some of the basic principles. After the basic principles, we're going to start with the fabulous balance sheet and what it means, and what are the aspects of it and why it's important. So yeah, I will let you be off for the dia, the night. And let me see, do we have anything else here? Affirm, negative 4.42% was the loser. This thing, it picked up a lot in for Christmas time, because people are just, I had seen a video on this where people were getting into this type of company where they could buy now, pay
You
later.
were reading the book.
Huh?
I thought you were reading the book.
I stopped at number 8. I said, I was looking at this real quick and I saw.
Oh, okay. All right.
And that was the winner, the loser of that. And Campbell's went up. Oh, yes. Campbell did well. CVS, Dell, Spacey. Ooh, picked up a little bit. Florida, aka Foot Locker. So it did well because Nike went well. IBM reports tomorrow, somebody's birthday. He's right here with me.
Go,
Spy.
Alan. It's your birthday. Go,
Go,
Alan.
Alan.
Your
It's
birthday.
your birthday. Somebody's dancing.
It's your
Um,
birthday. Woo, woo, woo. It's your birthday. Woo, woo.
so
It's your
Hoggy,
birthday.
I don't know why Hoggy's been going so up, but it's starting to trend down. I'm gonna put a notification here, see if it gets to, when it gets to like below $32,
30.
I want to be notified. 31. Let's see, let's say 31.
30 is the key.
Okay, so hopefully it goes down and we get notified. Lyft, and that's it. Let's see. That's all I have for y'all. And that's it. Oh, wait. Let's see. Let me just go back to CNBC and let's see the highlights of Netflix right here real quick. Okay, so Netflix adds 13.1 million subscribers, tops revenue estimates as membership push gains steam. So here you go. Netflix added 13.1 million subscribers during the fourth quarter. The company now has 268 million paid subscribers. The company also topped Wall Street revenue expectations. And remember, guys, they always say the top line. And if you guys remember from what I had said, what is the top line? Revenue. So it's just money coming in, nothing being subtracted from like expenses and expenditures. So that's what they talk about. So here goes some numbers. Here are the results. Earnings 2.11 per share versus 2.22 per share expected, formerly known as Inventive. So it went below. Okay, revenue 8.83 billion versus 8.72 billion expected by LSEG. Total membership. So I guess this is why it went hyped up, because they expected 256, but they got 260. But the earnings, oh wait, 211 per share. Yeah, versus. So yeah, the earnings went down a little bit here, but the revenue was up. Okay. Netflix reported fourth quarter net income of 936.8 million, and per share versus 1200 per share. So yeah, this is just the highlights. If you want to read this, it's on CNBC. I'm not going to take any more of your time, but just wanted to give you the high level numeros. And once we get into more of the financial statements, we can further understand what all these numbers mean and why they're important. And that's it. That's all I got, my friends. Oh, let's see what this says. Not surprised. New Hampshire primary results. Trump defeats Haley. Biden sweeps Democrats.
Biden's not even on the ballot.
I know. Former President DT has won the New Hampshire Republican primary. Trump's victory over South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley was widely anticipated, and it raises the question of whether or not Republican race for the presidential nomination is over. In a
I
speech,
like how we had like one primary and one caucus, but just one primary, and they say it's over, even though it
yes,
probably is. But it's just kind of
yes.
funny.
I think I was hearing some analysts say DeSantis dropped out because he ain't got no money. And he was just like, I'm out.
He was going to become president anyway, so
Yes, I know, but like that's why he didn't keep going either, because if you ain't got no financial
was he
backup from
going
the
to?
donor,
He should have dropped out earlier,
of
but
course.
just
But he's stubborn. He was stubborn, and he thought that he could. Okay, so in a speech very soon after networks projected Trump's victory, Haley insists that she does not intend to drop off the race. We'll see. What a great night. She proclaimed to crowd of cheering voters. On the other side of the proverbial aisle, President Joe Biden won the New Hampshire Democratic primary as a write-in candidate after his name was not included on the printed ballot. As results are tallied in the coming hours, NBC News will post them to its Decision Desk result landing page. New Hampshire Secretary of State David Scallan said he expects turnout will exceed 400,000 voters, with the lion's share of those ballots being cast in the Republican primary. CNBC will be updating results, posting live from New Hampshire, Washington, D.C., and New York. Okay. So yes, there you have it, my friends. New Hampshire results. The winner is DT. It wasn't too bad. I was expecting less.
yeah,
43.7%.
it's actually not as bad as I thought.
Yeah. And look at this.
Well, he shouldn't have any votes. Probably early voters, maybe.
Yes. So yes, actually I'm very surprised. It was, it was close.
Uh-huh.
Let's see where the majority of Trumpers are. Up here in Pittsburgh. I guess let's see here. Sandwich had a lot of voters for Nikki. Franconia. Let's see Nashua. That's where it was the closest. Let's see Nashua. Muy interesante. Let's see here. Barrington. Let's see Concord. Oh, Concord. Wow. So Concord is the capital, and Nikki Haley won there.
Uh-huh.
Muy bien, muy bien. She won in Sandwich and in Holderness, Franconia, Woodstock, Dixieville. Okay, muy interesante. Then nobody else voted. I guess no results, no polling places.
Yeah, they don't.
And I could have done it here. So here you go.
They show the biggest ones.
So yeah, that's it. We'll reference this.
Let me see Biden's thing.
Evidence.
How someone gets I want to see at the top.
Oh,
the numbers right here. Okay. I don't know how
he was probably printed there.
No,
And
he was a write-in candidate. They have to write his name in.
Yeah, he wrote it. They wrote it in
because he wasn't on the ballot because they changed the order for New Hampshire, and New Hampshire said, "Heck, no, we're not going to do
that." So there you have it, my friends. So I have less than a minute. I will bid you good night, and I will talk to you mañana.
All right, peace out.
Peace out.